you kind of assume you're the teacher. You kind of assume, okay, I'm here, I'm the teacher, I'm going to teach you something. So that was a harder level, because then it was like, oh, that's how you think, huh? That's the way you look at yourself. So arrogant. And it was painful. So I worked that, and I worked that, and other dreams came and went, and eventually I had a dream, and I walked into a classroom, and there were other students sitting down, and I sat down with them, and then the teacher walked in. It was such a change. It was such a powerful change in terms of who I am and how I felt, and it even changed how I teach. I have student evaluations that say I've become a better teacher because of that dream. So I think our dreams are our teachers, but they teach us who we are because we've forgotten who we are. We don't know who we are. We've forgotten somehow, and this is a very deep kind of forgetting. I remember Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shalomi, many of you know and some of you don't, but he once told me a story about how when we're in the womb, an angel teaches us Torah for 9 months. Did you know that? And the other 3 you're supposed to learn when you're awake. But this angel, whose name is Dumia, which means silence, when you're born, this angel goes like this, and that's why we have this little philtrum, see? And the angel drives out of your mind all the teaching that you had. And I said to Rav Zalman, well, what's the point of that? That seems stupid. And he said, well, first he said, and this is his way, of course, he said, you know, it's like when you erase files on a hard drive. They're not really erased. You know, I didn't know that, but of course he knows that. They're not really erased. All the files are there, but they just put a little X on the name of the file, but the files are still available. And he said that the reason they're erased is so that when you meet the teacher of your soul, and that's the kind of teacher I'm not, but I'm talking about, when you meet someone who's the teacher of your soul, then because of those erased files, you'll kind of recognize. It'll be like a little flash, a little trace of recognition, and that feeling is how you'll know that this person is meant to teach you. So it's a story about remembering and forgetting, and it relates to our dreams because I think our dreams are ways that we are remembered awake, ways in which we're reminded of what we've forgotten. And the most important thing we've forgotten is who we truly are. And you know, Reb Zalman told me another story which is told in so many cultures, Sufi, and one version is Gnostic Christian, and Reb Nachman of Wroclaw tells it too. It's the story of the lost princess. And the story is about a king and a queen who send their son on a mission to Egypt. And the mission is to go to a lake. In the middle of the lake is a dragon, and around the dragon's neck is a pearl of great price, a gleaming pearl. And the parents say, but you know, don't eat the food of Egypt, and don't drink the drink of Egypt, and don't wear the clothing of Egypt, because if you do, you'll forget your mission. So what does the son do? He goes there and drinks the drink and eats the food and wears the clothes and forgets his mission. He forgets why he was sent down here, what his purpose is. Why are we here? It's the same question. What am I doing here, and who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? He forgets that and conforms to the material conditions of the world that he lives in. And So one day, his parents want to remind him, and they send him a very strange thing. They send him a letter, but according to the story, the letter walks and sings and talks. Now, what is a walking, talking, singing letter? It's a dream. It's a dream. What else could it be? It's a dream. And so, I think that dreams come to remind us of what we've forgotten, of what our mission is. And I think that's the tremendous gift of the dream. I want to break this down a little bit. I think our dreams are talked about in the book of Genesis, which I think is our primordial dream book in the West. Not Freud's interpretation of dreams, that's the number 2 book, but the number 1 book, the most influential, the most powerful, the most primordial is the book of Genesis. And it's notable that there are 10, depending on how you count, some of the scholars here will correct me, 11 or 10 dreams in Genesis. I prefer the number 10, it's more poetic. And there are no dream stories in the rest of the 5 books of Moses. The dream disappears from the Torah. It's also remarkable that the first time the word dreamer is used, it's when Joseph's brothers say, I like the Melech James version, behold, this dreamer cometh. That's sort of invidious locution, isn't it? Behold, this dreamer cometh. The second time the word dreamer is used is in Deuteronomy, and I think this is almost a takeaway, and it says, if someone is a dreamer of dreams, essentially put him to death. So how is it that the same Torah, which is our primordial dream book in Genesis, becomes so forbidding and really closed to the dream by the time we get to Exodus? I mean, that's a whole interesting question that I try to investigate. But I want to focus on what the gifts are. What are the gifts of the dream? I find 3 gifts in stories from Genesis. And the first is that dreams warn us. They show us what's wrong. They show us the opposition to our soul. They show us the pathology, if you want to use that term. And the second thing the dreams do is they ensoul us. They show us our essence, our inner destiny. They show us what we were born to be, what we forgot. Sometimes it's shown to us as a little boy or a little girl, or even a baby. And the third gift is that they put us in relationship with love, with the love that comes from the deepest place there is. The love from the one who loves us with a great love. And when we say, Ahava Rabba Ahavtam, the great love, you have loved us. With a great love, you have loved us. And we are shown ways to feel that love in our dreams. So, the trick is to understand that every dream is about you, that you're the star of the dream, whether you know it or not, that the dream is sent for you. The dream is a message to you to wake you up. And that's the one piece people don't quite get. I remember once I told Mark a dream, some people were taking a photograph and smiling, and he said, and it struck me, I don't know why it struck me so hard, he said, they're smiling for you. It didn't occur to me that they were smiling for me. But the whole deal is that they're smiling for you. And that's so hard to accept, that the dream is for you. But not the you that has forgotten the mission, that's wearing the clothes of Egypt, or drinking the Coca-Cola of Egypt. Not that you. But the you that you don't know. You know, Yeats said, the poet Yeats said, the poet is not the man at the breakfast table. And he meant something by that, I think, that as poet, he was someone who spoke from a deeper